some things you say you can't say anymore.
On Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right? It's just some things you can't do no more. And some place you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
on Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right? It's just some things you can't do no more. And some place you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
on Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right? It's just some things you can't do no more. And some place you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
on Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right? It's just some things you can't do no more. And some place you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
on Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right? What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, big bro? How you doing?
I can't complain, man. I cannot complain. What's up, world? Welcome to Kicking It with the Kellys.
Kicking it with the Kellys, back again, back at you again. Another Thursday.
We back by popular demand. And we ready to go, man. That thing was looping, wasn't it?
Hey, look, I don't know how you be getting the loop like that, man, but the bass was booming, bro.
Corinthian, it's Thursday, man. Listen, God has blessed us to see another year. Man, I'm just happy to be alive, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kids said five times to be exact. Hey, what's up, Jason? Thanks for tuning in.
They be tapping my line.
I know, that's, man. Shout out to Jason. Thanks again, sir, for tuning back in, kicking it with us.
Yes.
Again. But like you said, man, blessed to be, be here. Thank goodness it's almost Friday, and the weekend almost here. So yeah.
So I got a couple of things coming up, man. Happy Father. Wow,
Wow.
Corinthian, listen, man. I forgot it was Happy Father's Day this Sunday to all the fathers And to all the ones who are godfathers or who are in the role of a father, man, y'all are so appreciated. And just need more. I was in Tropical Smoothie today, man. I saw a young man. He had his daughter with him, and she had to be, I'm sorry, she had to be 3 or 4, and he had her in his arms, and then when he got the order, he put her down. But I'm talking about she wrapped her arms around his leg and was just leaning on him the whole time. And I just love to see it, man. As a matter of fact, every time I see it's specifically young black male or black men, with their children, it's always a great sight for me. Yeah. But fathers in general, I just love to see fathers with their children. And yeah.
Man, men matter, right? Dads matter, right? And just like you said, it does my whole heart good. Like when I see a unit, like when I see the family walking into places, man, it does something to me, man. It make me proud seeing it, because what I see is alignment. I see, I see everybody in their proper place. I'm gonna give you this example real quick. I just saw a video on Facebook. It was an animal video, and it was Canadian geese, like crossing the street, right? And a guy jumps out of his car. A man down in Florida jumps out of his car to try to help one of the little babies get up on the curb. And I watched the video intently, and I saw the dead geese attack the dude. Yeah. I mean, he attacked him.
Yeah.
And then I saw mama geese. She was with the 5 kids, and they was standing right next to her.
Yeah.
And basically, mom was sitting back watching the kids, and it was their job to handle that. Yeah. Dad was basically saying he don't need no help. He got that, right? And I saw that video, Arthur, and I was so like, the intelligence that those animals have, first of all, right? And then, like, I saw alignment. I saw dead geese knew what his role was. Any threats, he got to be out there to neutralize it. The kids knew what their role was. They weren't supposed to be out in the street trying to fight them too. Dad was going to handle that. And mom was watching the kids. And I was like, man, nature can teach you so much if you sit like it be lessons just like that.
Does not nature teach us, man, and tell us everything that we need to know about family, about faith, about friends?
Yes.
Us all of that. Birds of a feather flock together.
Man.
Tell us, some birds you can't hang around because they're gonna chase. You see those small birds chasing off those crows and those eagles. Yeah. Nature tells you can't hang with everybody.
You can't hang with everybody, man.
Nature tells us that we stick together. When you see geese flying and birds together, you know that there's family. When you see dolphins swimming together and whales doing all
whole pond.
Nature teaches us everything we need to know. But the thing is, nature is not confused.
No, nature's not confused at all. Everybody know their role. Hey, Arthur, all right, I'll give you another example of some video. I'll be watching silverback gorillas, like the gorilla Donkey Kong and his whole tribe. Arthur, everybody know their role, man. Like it just be so beautiful watching them interact and all that kind of stuff, man. They know when it's time to roll. When the silverback get up and say we gotta go, everybody get up and they go.
Yep.
It ain't no, I'm gonna stay here. It ain't no, there is no confusion about what's going on. And in turn, what Silverback job is to protect the whole squad. That's his whole job. Threats that come up, he got to neutralize that. Period.
Wow. Oh, hey, listen, if you just tuning in with us or we're kicking it with the Kellys, we're just talking about fathers, and we wanted to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. You are important, you are needed, and just keep doing what you're doing to the ones who are about to be fathers. You know, I have a couple of coworkers who are about to have children and stuff like that. So, you know, just do your thing, and always be willing to learn. And that's the thing that I had to come to grips with. I had to be willing to adapt, accept, adapt, and adjust. The 3 A. I had to be willing to accept, adapt, and adjust. And as a father, you have to be. There are going to be some things that you did not experience when you were a little kid that your father might not have come across. You know, some different tactics, things like that. But it's nothing new under the sun. So I don't want you to get that through your head that it's nothing new under the sun. Like what happened in the past is going to happen again. But there are a lot of modern ways, technology things that you just gotta accept, adapt, adjust. And shout out to all the fathers. Love your Corinthian therapy period. T. Can you tell us where you got it from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So look, when you made the statement, you always got to be willing to learn, man. This is a part of my evolution and learning, and never stop growing and evolving. But man, this shirt was made by my lovely wife, Dr. Latasha Ely Kelly, who is the Millennial Black Professor. I mean, on her platform, she does all types of stuff. She makes shirts, does edits, dissertation review, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, super, super talented. But I mean, this what I'm rocking. You know, it's cool when you can rock something that you know, someone you know made, right? So,
I'm eating and everything.
Man, you multitasking. Hey, what I do, Jason? I see you, man. I'll make sure I drop the link in the chat for those interested, man. I'll drop that in the chat. Yeah.
There we go. Hey man, drop that form, man. Shout out to Dr. Ely Kelly. She just celebrated a birthday not too long ago, and I appreciate you, my sister. You helped me out a lot. Hey, listen, Corinthian. When you were talking about the geese, man, it happened to me.
Yeah.
Corinthian, I'm gonna tell you two stories real quick. I was recruiting for Old Dominion, and I was in Pennsylvania. I was in Philadelphia. All right. I'm just leaving my hotel, about to pack my car, go to the college or the high school where I was going. And it was two geese, the mama geese and the daddy geese. They hadn't had their children yet.
They was just dating.
Well, I think they separate from the pack when the female is pregnant.
Yep.
So they were waiting for, to have their children, their geeselings, goslings, or whatever you call them. And Corinthian, I backed up my car, and the daddy geese attacked my car because I got too close to his queen.
Yeah, yeah.
And they chased my car, Corinthian. I was like, hold up.
Yeah. You was nervous inside the vehicle. I already know.
Hey, well, you already know. See, I was in the car, that one.
Yes.
Then I was at Smoky Bones. Smoky Bones, Corinthian, and I saw a gang of geese. You know how they do. They were just out chilling. And I said, no. And for anybody that knows me, I'm going to tell on myself, I am afraid of birds.
You had a bad experience.
I had a bad.
It was that dumpster. I know.
had a bad experience, and it has enabled me to call them my wing friends. But I tried to walk around the geese and their gang, and I end up stepping on a manhole that wasn't properly secured, and I almost fell in.
Hey man. Hey, man. Did you have to get a tetanus shot or something for that, man? Did you?
Patient first, Corinthian. I was hurt, and my sister-in-law told me I could sue. I did not sue. I should have done it, but to that pack of geese, when I find you, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong.
It's going down if you see it. If you catch him in the street.
Catch him in the street. Corinthian, I got us up on YouTube, and I'm looking, and everything looks good. We trying out a couple of things, guys, so just bear with us. Hey, this is also a smoke show, but we did have a topic that we wanted to talk about. So I have gone ahead and put the link, our link in the chat. I've gone on and put our link in the chat. And if you want to log on, you can go ahead on and do so. And we bringing on anybody. We just talking. But Corinthian, you had a topic, man, that we do want to address, man. It's a very, very good question that you're asking. And let's pick that apart a little bit, man.
So first, to the viewing audience, those that logged on and joined us, I saw this question roll across my feed in Facebook, and I was like, man, that's a really good question. Let me ask. So the question is, what is harder for you to say?
Hold up, Corinthian. Hey, Kia, can you put the link? I sent it to you. Can you put the link in the chat? I thought it was up. It should be up. I see it up on my YouTube link. But if you can put that link that I just text you in the chat, that'd be great, and people can click on that. Thank you. And our smoke show is, if you want this smoke, hey, we'll bring the smoke now. you want to come on with your ring light? Hey, bring all of it. We here for it.
We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke out the stove. So the question that I came across on Facebook is, what is harder for you to say? Number one was, I need help. Number two was, I'm sorry. And number three was, I love you. What is harder for you to say? So when you hear that question, Arthur, which one is it for you?
Hey man, hold up, man. You got me. I got which one?
You got that. Yeah, I know. Yep.
Read them again.
Yep. So what's harder for you to say? Number one is, I need help. Number two is, I'm sorry. And number three is, I love you. What's harder for you to say? And then if you pick one, tell me why.
All right. So I gotta dissect this. Or you just want straight answer?
Nah, go ahead. Break it down, man. Break it down for the people.
All right. So number one, I need help. I'm sorry. I love you. Well, I will say this. Growing up, and you can probably attest to this. This is just from my vantage point. Mom and Dad, I love you. I just want to say that.
Yep.
But growing up in our house, it wasn't more so I love you. We knew they loved us, and then we knew they loved us with the love of Christ. Mm-hmm. Christian love. But I would say that I didn't hear I love you a lot. So that already put a little mental block in I didn't know who to say I love you to. It was kind of hard. I'm sorry. It's hard to say I'm sorry when you don't think you do much wrong. So I did struggle with saying I'm sorry in a way that was believable.
I'm sorry you misinterpreted what I said.
It had to be a caveat. It was always gonna be something on the end of that. I'm sorry. And then I need help. Oh man, I can even talk in my music days when I was struggling with, preparing something. It was hard for me to ask for help when I know I needed it.
Yeah.
Or going back to, I need help like financially. Like if I was down in the dumps and I needed something, it was hard for me to say I need help. So I'm going to have to go with, I said all that to come back around to, I'm sorry was the hardest for me to say. I'm sorry. Now, if I offend somebody, I am truly sorry. But it's very hard for me to say. But I have to eventually do it. If I'm definitely wrong, I really have to do it. But that was hard for me to say. All right, my bad. I went on a whole roller coaster, but go ahead.
No, it was great, man. Look, you can tell we brothers, because I literally was gonna say the same exact thing, right?
Wow.
So Arthur, I was gonna say one with I need help. That requires a level of humbleness, right?
Yeah.
And that means you got to put your pride to the side, which is something that as I have gotten older, I have softened to that. It was very hard for me to ask for help because I never wanted to seem like I didn't know, or I was in need, even though I was in need, right? I didn't want people to know, right? So I need help very, very hard. And I'll say my answer is that depending on the day, it's all three of these. I struggle with all three of these depending on the day, right? I'm sorry. So in my head, when you a thinker, you think that your intent, because my intent behind what I'm saying is to benefit you, then even if I say it harsh and gruff and stuff like that, that should excuse I said it rough and real ugly where you couldn't receive it, right? So instead of me saying, I'm sorry that I didn't break it down or I didn't explain it in a way that you will understand and receive it. Like I didn't take the time to, the statement saying you can attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Like I'm saying it with vinegar, but the reason I'm saying with vinegar is because I know it can help you, but I'm getting frustrated that you're not receiving it that way, man. That's something that being married now, I'm realizing, man, I got to take back. And if the end goal is to help, then I need to be able to help you in a way that you can receive it. You see what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna say it, man. I have a problem with feelings, man. I got a problem with feelings, man. Sometimes I even cringe at the word feelings.
That's real.
My feelings. You didn't consider my feelings.
That's so real, bro.
And so listen, everything that I do in life, I do it to benefit.
It's fact-based. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, like why? Like, oh man, like sticks and stones.
Hey, that's real.
Words will never hurt me.
See?
I'm not trying to hurt. Like I don't do things to intentionally hurt anyone. Man. So it's hard for me to say that I have to grapple that I have to apologize, even if you just tell me, did you have to say it that way? Yeah.
Hey Arthur, man. Hey Arthur, we gonna be on this all night.
Yeah, we gonna be in hot water.
We gonna be in hot water, man. Hey, look, Arthur. So look, you see, I got the shirt on, man.
Yeah.
I still need it, man. Arthur, that's literally how I be thinking about it. And like in my head, what I think of is problem, solution. That's it. It's real black and white how I view things, right? So how I'm saying it, just the nugget that I want you to get to is this is a pathway forward to your situation, right? Give you an example. if it's kids playing in the street, right, and you yell at them and say, get out the street, your intention is to keep them safe. Now, if they stuck on, you yelled at me to get out the street and I'm going to just stay there just because I ain't like the way you say it, they have put themselves in danger, right? So that's how I be rationalize it, man. But then what I am learning and trying to do better day by day is when you in a partnership with with another adult, they not your kid, right? Right. So it's hard, man. It's real hard. It's real hard for me, man. So that I'm sorry. I struggle with that, bro. I struggle with that. Jason, I'm glad you feel me.
Kia said I struggle with asking for help because I feel like my need should be apparent and I shouldn't have to ask for help. Ooh.
Well, this is a question that I will ask to that. Because see, nobody's a mind reader, one. And then two, what I've realized now is everybody be worried about their own stuff. Like it's rare for people to be thinking outside themselves, right? Outside of you providing provision for your kids. Like we are naturally, and I'll call it this, we naturally just focus on what we got going on. So for somebody to really be needing help or they quote unquote screaming for help without saying anything, I'm like, man, that means that you walking around people that already are focusing on the 100 things they got going on, and you're saying now they should notice what you got going on. That takes an extra level. There are people like that, but everybody ain't like that. So that's why I be like, man, it's important for folk to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kia said, I naturally anticipate the needs of others, but I've heard that's a trauma response. So I believe that we're all naturally selfish. Self-preservation first. I mean, to make it to the end of life, right? Now,
so Arthur, let me explain it this way. When you get on that airplane, if you hit turbulence and that oxygen mask drop down, what they say you need to do first?
Yeah,
you gotta put the mask on you first
before you try to help somebody else.
Because you're gonna pass out yourself. You see what I'm saying? So there is nothing wrong with making sure, like, you can't pour out it unless you got stuff inside you. If you empty inside, how you gonna pour out to somebody else, right? So, I don't see that as being selfish. I believe that is necessary for survival. You see what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to, you got to swim before you can lift somebody else up.
Survival of the fittest. So, Corinthian, when it comes to extracting selfish, now we get into love. So it's nothing like a mother's love. It's nothing like a father's love, where if we are in the water and I can't swim, but I can do everything that I can to get my baby out of water, I want my baby to survive me. I want my child to live longer than me. That is love. That's when we get out of self and we look on others. And that's why the scripture said the greatest of these is charity. When we get, so my love extends that when I'm helping folks and not just thinking about myself, that's how I'm showing love. And that's ultimately the greatest love right there. That a man lay down his life for a friend.
So look, Arthur, I love how you started it with like mother's love is the greatest love possible. I would agree with you 100%, right? Yeah. I heard someone explain it this way. Mothers giving during childbirth can be near death.
Yeah.
Like moms can die to bring forth life, right? So imagine how our male brain think. Like this is how I think, just male brain thinking, right? If I get to something where I'm near death, I'm only doing it one time. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But you have moms that have 4, 5, 6. Some of my grandparents had maybe 10 kids. You see what I'm saying? So it's something that is supernatural about moms. So I give moms super credit because they bring forth life.
Corinthian, I'm about to
Go ahead.
Monkey wrench in this whole thing.
Go ahead.
Jason's comment first. So who fills us up, especially in marriage? Who feels? Let's answer that, and then I'll get to my man. It's just so many things going through my head, but I do want to get these comments here. I naturally anticipate the needs of others. That's a trauma response. Who fills us up, especially in marriage, Corinthian? Each other. I mean, one hand watches the other, yin and yang.
We should, if it's going how it should go, we should both energize each other.
Yeah.
We both lean on each other. And then, like, I've heard somebody explain, it ain't 50-50. One day it might be you giving 75 and me giving 25, because that's all I can do. The next day I might be up 80 and you down 20. But we making it work. That's how that has to work. And then to Jason's point, you gotta have something in the middle of all that, right? So where I believe, you know, if you got God in it in between, it's 3 of y'all in the marriage, not just 2, right? So when I'm weak, you know, my wife's strong and vice versa. That's how it should be working.
The scriptures talk about that as well. The strong bear the infirmities of the weak. So that goes with anything. That goes with outside of the marriage. That goes with inside the marriage. So the strong bears their infirmities of the weak. So I agree with it, man. Great breakdown. Corinthian, we were talking about selfish, right?
Yeah.
And Jason, I'm glad. And Corinthian, I love your therapy shirt. You know, I wanted to touch on, is therapy needed for most, because it seems like we all have some trauma that we have to deal with. I just think I talked through mine with the three questions, right? There's some trauma there, right? We got to deal with it somehow, talk about it. We just can't bottle up. But then I want to ask you this, because we were talking about the mother's love and with children, near-death experiences. Would we consider, and I'm not talking, and I first want to paraphrase this as, I'm not talking about somebody that cannot get pregnant. You know, continue to pray. You know, Sarah was barren for many years and she ended up having a child. So I'm not going down that path. Do women who can have children, are they selfish for not having children?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, because we don't know the issue. It could be an issue. I'll give an example. One thing that I didn't realize until I got some better understanding, I didn't know what fibroids were. I didn't know about that issue, that prevalence in the community, which can prevent you from doing anything, or it makes your pregnancy high risk. So it's one thing to say, you know, being pregnant. It's another thing to say you could be pregnant and maybe one of y'all can make it, either the baby or you. You see what I'm saying? So do I think that's, you know, when you take all those factors into consideration, man, it's a lot. We know that medical advances have you know, advanced in ways, but it's still risk. So for example, on the news, one of the awesome, I mean, she's an Olympian, beautiful sister Tori Bowie.
Yeah, she just passed. Yeah.
She just passed, come to find out, during childbirth. I didn't know that. In 2023.
Yeah.
Now, Arthur, think about all the advances in technology we have. Think about the resources that she has access to being an Olympian, and it still was fatal for her. Now, think about 100 years ago, 200 years ago, since the beginning of time. Like, what the point I'm trying to make is, when you read those stories, man, the baby lived, but the mom died in childbirth. It's, man,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
You wouldn't say
paint it with a broad brush.
Yeah. You wouldn't say that someone that can have children and chooses not to is selfish. That was a good breakdown.
I would not say that.
To all the moms, man. We talk about. I think the second most celebrated holiday outside of Christmas is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And then obviously Father's Day is like way down on the list. The fathers, we got to do better. And Kia said, no, it's not selfish, not at all.
Yeah, I would agree.
Hey, okay, Corinthian, let me ask you this. We were talking about the therapy, and if it's needed, everyone has to acknowledge their past and life. What are your thoughts on therapy? Is it needed, especially for men? Because I as a man, I have a hard time trying to, talking to somebody about my past and my feelings,
yeah,
and all that. So I guess I could benefit from therapy, but I believe that I also give a lot of good advice too.
Yeah. So Arthur, this is my response, and my response has evolved over time based off of my life experiences, right? So I think therapy is necessary for everyone, but that can take many forms. I don't think everybody needs to sit in front of a therapist or a psychiatrist. That might not be the therapy for you, but therapy might be you going to exercise, you going for a walk, or you going, like, it's different forms, right? Now, what I do know and what I have learned over time, one of the most therapeutic things that you can do is talk to someone about your problems. See, what we think as men, I'll speak from a male perspective and how I used to think. I used to think my problems were unique. Like they were like, and the thing is, when you voice issues that you're having, what you come to find out is it's people that have experienced that before and they've overcome it before. But you won't know if you keep that all in. So you walk around thinking you're the only one having this problem. And then by you open up your mouth or opening up or confiding, or I'll give you an example, some great therapists without a license. Your barbers are therapists. If you got a good barber that know what they doing, they listening to what you talk and they giving you some advice, right?
Wow, kid, that's the scripture I was just going to say. We overcome by the word of our testimony. Great scripture. Yep.
Absolutely, right? So, man, so for males, because we naturally, I'll speak how my brain be thinking, man. I think problem, solution, and what I get frustrated on if I can't fix it, right? That's a source of frustration. Where instead of me bottling that up, if I share that with other people, the more people I tell, it might be somebody that experienced that exact same thing and say, hey man, have you tried doing this? That might be just the spark that I needed. Like, man, oh, I can do that. I didn't know. I have limited now. I haven't experienced that. So that's the benefit of sharing. Now, what I will also say, this is what I had to learn the hard way. So I'm sharing this because I experienced it, right?
Okay.
When you bottle your emotions, when you don't let them out, when you don't have a positive outlet to share your feelings, your thoughts, your struggles, they are going to come out one way or another.
Wow. They're
going to come out some kind of way. It can be at a point when you least expect it. You can be drained by it. It can be a painful lesson that you have to learn where you like, man, I can't do this no more. Right. So it's better to get in front of that than to have to go through something hard and then be having to climb your way back out of a deep, dark hole, right? So I would encourage anybody, like it's just like going to the dentist. It's best to go to the dentist before the cavity set in, right? Yeah. So it's best to do that routine maintenance. Yeah. Now, your routine maintenance be, man, look, I actually got a good support system. That's who I talk to. Some people that don't have that support system, you might want to talk to a professional. It's some people that might need medicine. It's some people that need the faith-based community. Whatever you need, like you got to figure that out, and you got to start routinely maintaining that. You have to.
Hey, whatever you need, God's got it. Hey, listen, Brittany, thank you. Therapy in various forms, whether with informed workshops or books, can be helpful. Your faith should also be a catalyst for your choices. A lot of people messed up because they don't believe in nothing. A lot of people going through because they won't give it over to God. He said, God cares on me, for I care for you.
but then I'm a challenge that with this, man.
All right, there we go.
It's some people that have. There's a statement: faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So you can pray about your situation and have that radical faith, but it might be, man, the faith that your prayers, your answer is be, man, you need to go get checked out or go talk to a medical professional. That might be the message that you be getting, but you not seeing it because you have over spiritualized things where we have wisdom, knowledge, understanding now, and access to resources. Like when your job has, man, you can go get mental health screening just like you can a dental screening, and you going through something, why wouldn't you go access it, right? Like, so it's sometimes where you might need that extra help, and it's nothing wrong with that.
Corinthian. So that is the parable of the man who his house flooded and he could not get out, and he had to stand on the roof, and he was praying to God, please help me. So somebody came in a canoe and said, come on, get on in. You can get off there. And he told him, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God.
Yeah.
And somebody came in one of those river boats.
Yeah.
And he said, come on, I'm here to help you. He said, no, I'm waiting on God. And then somebody came in a helicopter and tried to lift them off. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, I'm waiting on God. And the man at the end, he asked God, I thought you were going to help me.
Yep.
And God told him, well, I sent you a canoe, I sent you a riverboat, and I sent you a helicopter.
Man, hey, Arthur, man, see that parable so deep because what people don't understand is God works through people. You see what I'm saying? Like it ain't nothing that's dropping out of the sky. Ooh. Just like it ain't gonna be, a stack that just drop and hit you on the head because you prayed for it. But it could be that person come by your house and say, hey man, something told me to come check on you. And then that's your test where you got to be humble enough, man, look, I really do need some help. See, that's your prayer being answered right there. Now, are you listening? Are you humble enough to accept it? Because what I had to go through, man, like I didn't want to open up and share with people what was going on, but it was people getting put in my path. Like, man, hey, man, you okay? I noticed you a little off. I literally had 3 people do that. They was like, man, you ain't like yourself. And then instead of me saying, man, hey, I do need a little bit of help, I wasn't humble enough to say, hey, man, I do. But God was putting them people right in my path.
Ooh.
Right. It won't no spooky, like super spiritual thing. It was people right in front of me. You see what I'm saying? that's how God works. God works through people. God, it ain't gonna be, you ain't gonna wake up and the money gonna be laying on top of your head. It's gonna be somebody coming by.
You heard it here on Kicking It with the Kellys. God works through people. God works through people. And that's why you have to align yourself with like-minded people and people that got your best interests at heart, because they will be able to discern things. Just like you just said, Corinthian, those people that God placed in your life, they were able to discern that something won't right.
Something right.
You gotta talk about it. You gotta get this weight up off you.
Absolutely.
And lay aside every weight that so easily besets you. So, Corinthian, wow, man, your circle matters, man. Birds of a feather flock together. What flock are you in? What flock are you in?
Hey, that flock is important, man. Hey, hey, Arthur, that flock's so important, man. Look, Arthur, the sooner folk realize that, because Arthur, I would say it like this: your circle or your flock matters so much that your flock should be holding you accountable. Like when you off and you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you ain't had nobody in your circle checking you, be like, man, that ain't you. What you doing? Get back on your square.
Jocelyn Hernandez when she just got in that fight the other day.
Hey, Arthur, I don't want nobody around me that's gonna provoke me or encourage me to fight something over nothing. Like whatever they was fighting over, it was over nothing.
She had 6-8 bodyguards and they couldn't hold her. I said, you know what? I can't.
They playing around, man.
I can't. Great, your circle matter. Thank you, Jason. Hey, do some people have to hit rock bottom for them to learn?
Absolutely.
Some people will never learn until they hit rock bottom.
Absolutely.
That's a sad state of affairs, man, because you should not have to learn the hard way. Why do we pick the hard path to follow?
Man, so, all right, I'm going to push back on that, Arthur.
Ooh, okay, let's talk about it.
I'm going to push back on that. See, Arthur, the hard lesson, hitting your head, bumping your head, sometimes that's the only way you gonna get it. Otherwise, you gonna keep pushing the limit. Like, Arthur, the reason why I stopped running in my house when I was a little kid, my mom and dad told me stop running in the house. It wasn't until I had some socks on and I slip and fell and bust my head that I got the lesson. This is why they telling me don't run in here. Yeah. If I hadn't done that, I would still be running. You see what I'm saying? So, like, now, like they say, what don't kill you make you stronger and stuff like that. But like sometimes those life lessons, Arthur, you can talk to somebody all day. You can talk to somebody till they blue in the face. But until they experience what the bad look like, then they get it. Like, Arthur, some of the best people to talk to about drinking, it's people that have been alcoholics.
Ooh, Corinthian.
Yeah. Like, when you hear them talk about it, you get it. They can tell you what that road to take, you know, or you know, the recovered addict and stuff like that. Their testimony be so powerful because,
wow. Oh, you speaking today? You speaking truth to power, Corinthian. What's the Asian man's name? He went to Duke. He was in Hangover. He's in the Hangover. If somebody,
he a comedian.
Yeah. Oh, he was in Hangover, and is a meme. He says that phrase, "But did you die?" And Corinthian, man, I don't want to have a near-death experience for me to get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that. Did you die? I don't want to have that. That Genesis the serpent is talking to Eve, saying, you won't surely die.
Yeah,
we'll die. That's why we in the mess that we in.
That's why we in the mess that we in. Yeah.
Yeah, we dead man walking. So listen, hey, if you can learn anything, like learn from others.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through it, and it has to be that Mufasa, Rafiki hitting Mufasa on the head, and getting leaving a bump. Like learn from others, see the road that was traveled from somebody else, so you can now learn and say, I better take a different path.
Yeah. See now that if you use a wisdom, you would think like that, right?
Yeah.
That the statement, obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
So if you wise, if you a young person, you watching and you being aware, you should be able to look at the life lessons, the mistakes, the bumps, the bruises that somebody, experiencing in life to teach you what to avoid. Like if you're wise. But Arthur, we all have been hard-headed. It's been stuff that folks have told me not to do, and I just had to experience it myself. And I had to learn the hard way. But they make the statement that life is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Life is gonna teach you.
Oh, yeah.
Life gonna teach. It's gonna catch up to you.
It's gonna teach you. All right.
Now, what you would be doing if you're using wisdom and listening to some of the lessons of elders and people that have gone before, what you do by doing that is you save yourself time. See, imagine if you traveling or going on a trip, and I've gone on this trip before you, but I took 7 detours and it added 2 more hours to my trip.
Yeah.
So I've already done that, and I tell you, hey, look, don't go this way. Go this way because it's going to save you 30 minutes here. Once you get to this stop, you need to make this left turn because it's going to save you some time here.
You can't tell me. I know how to get there. I've been there.
And then you got to say, okay, go ahead. When you get stuck in traffic, then you can only blame yourself.
Star method, situation, task, action, result. Hey, y'all better use that star method. Corinthian, listen, man. Accountability partner is great, man. And I stubbornness. You're right, man.
That's it.
I think the scripture even we talk about. Listen, we reference the Bible a lot. I'm just gonna let y'all know this. I think it says foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far away from. So it's true. Whether it's a near-death experience, whether it's just you falling down, bumping your head, whether it's time out, whether it's a whooping with the belt, whether it's whatever. A ticket, a speeding ticket, a court appearance. If
you get them points, look, you get them points and that hit your insurance. Yeah, you slow down, dude.
Slow down. And if you don't slow down, that just means you got a reprobate mind. Like you don't even care. Like correction and hitting rock bottom just it don't work. You're a lost cause.
And then Arthur, I wouldn't even say lost cause, man.
Do you believe is there anybody a lost cause? And should we take that phrase out of our vocabulary?
Man, so it's some people that are dead set in their ways, right? But if they're alive and they're breathing, that means you got an opportunity.
Ooh.
Right. So if you still got breath, if you still understand my voice, if you can still breathe, that means you got a chance to change. If you don't have that chance to change, then we should all pack it up then. Like if it was like that. So you use some examples of one of my heroes, right? One of my heroes is Malcolm X. That's one of my heroes.
Wassalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Malcolm X had to go to prison to change. And then before prison, reprobate. After prison, look at what he did. So, like, what if we would have said, man, anybody go to jail, they are lost cause and stuff like that, man? That's not it. You see what I'm saying? So they have an opportunity to change. So,
ooh, hey, Jason said you don't have to take it out of the vocabulary, but be mindful of your position in it. Position. Wow. Hey, that's wow. That's pretty true. Hey, listen, you better be ready to accept, adapt, and adjust. Remember the 3 A's: accept, adapt, adjust. Sometimes we have to really adjust our mindset on things, and I think you have told it that tonight that you had to think differently about some things, and there's a lot of things that you evolved to be where you are. Now, we're not talking about the theory of evolution and Charles Darwin.
No.
We're not talking about chimps to that. We're talking about a mindset that we have to, evolve in our thinking. When I was a child, I thought as a child, but when I became older, I put away childish things. So you got to accept, adapt, and adjust to that. As you get older, you have to put away like foolish thinking, things like, you got to get sleep. You got to work. You got to eat. You got to drink your water. I'm still struggling with that, but you got to drink your water.
Hey, so look with the water, it's look, I think, Arthur, as we get older, right, Arthur, we're Lord willing, we getting to a point where we halfway in life, right? And then it's gonna get to a point where we got more years behind us than ahead of us.
Yeah.
So with that said, what I have been realizing, man, I am becoming a lot more thankful and grateful for the little things, like some things that we be taking for granted. See, for example, Arthur, we can talk, we can hear each other, we can see, we can walk, we got activities of our lives, right? And some people take that kind of stuff for granted until you start seeing people that can't do that stuff. Right. And then so it's really been getting me, like, as of late, man. I'd be like, man, that's why I wake up every morning like, Lord, thank you for letting me see another day. Like that acknowledgement, because I used to, in my younger, I didn't used to always say that, but now that's becoming critical. Just the little things. What are we thankful for? Because we got a lot of stuff that goes on throughout life, a lot of stuff that goes on throughout our day. But if we focus on all that stuff that's happening and not focus on what we do have, man.
Oh, wow. Corinthian, let me, I think we need to add another question to the one you had. And if you just tuned in, it's Kicking with the Kellys. We were talking about a wide range of topics today. And it started off, Corinthian positioned us with 3 questions. Is it easier? Which one is harder to say? Which one is harder to say? I need help. I'm sorry. I love you. And I Corinthian, when you were just talking, I think we need to add one to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
I think we need to add thank you to that because, the scripture said if I had 10,000 tons, I couldn't thank him enough. We even say thank you. So we need. Is that hard to say? Thank you. Thank you. When somebody does something for you, thank you. We didn't get here by ourselves. We have something to be thankful for.
Yeah. Wow.
Corinthian, you said something when you were talking. You said that we have more years behind us than ahead of us.
We getting to that point. Yeah.
And it reminded me of the car analogy where obviously your rear view mirror is small because you need to see what's behind you. But your windshield is big because you actually need to see what's in front of you. But at some point in our life, we are going to be looking more in the rear view mirror at.
Hey, that's deep, man. Actually, that analogy is deep. See, you know, when older people are talking, they start doing a lot of reflecting over their life.
Yeah.
Like what they did, like you know, and stuff like that's deep, man. Like how I want to live with intention, and I want to be, if I look back on what's behind me, like I want to be proud of the journey.
Ooh.
I want to be proud of the folks that I helped along the way without asking for no credit for it. See, it's one thing to help people and want credit for it. It's another thing to help people just because you got helped. Those are two different things, right?
Write it off on your taxes.
Yeah, man. So I want to be helping people like Arthur. I want to get to a point where I hope the Lord bless me to. I help people just because that's who I am. Like, I don't care if you say thank you. I don't care if you give me nothing. It's just in my nature to help. Like, it's like a reflex. That's how I ain't there yet. Right. But that's where I want to get to. So.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Corinthian, let me ask you a question. Not to change topics, but, you know, if anybody has any comments to what we were talking about, definitely feel free to post them in the comment section. First, want to give a shout out to the Denver Nuggets on winning the championship. Gotta shout them out as basketball fans. My Warriors weren't in it, so I really didn't care.
You didn't care either way. You didn't care.
You know, I fell asleep a couple of games, so. But shout out to the Joker. Shout out to Jamal Murray. Shout out to Green. Shout out to Gordon. Shout out to Powell. Shout out to oh Lord, what's the shooter name? Carrell Pope. You know,
Christian Braun. He from Kansas.
He high school championship, a national championship, and now an NBA championship. So shout out to them fellas. Hey, to the Miami Heat. Hey, y'all still got a couple more things to figure out, but it looked like he was throwing the game, Corinthian. It really did look like. Don't
do Jimmy like that,
Jimmy Butler, man. It looked like something went right, Corinthian. I watched him them last couple of games, and his shot was just a little flicked. But you know, they've been there twice, and I believe they can get there again. But shout out to the Nuggets. Second thing I wanted to ask you, Corinthian, is how do you wear your polos? Do you wear it all the way buttoned up, or do you leave a button open? And which is the best and the right way?
So, Arthur, I think I'm situational. So it depends on the situation.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm gonna be outside for a long time, I'm gonna leave the top button open, you know, so I can breathe. You know, you got to have your undershirt on. Cause see, we grew up where we put on an undershirt. You see what I'm saying? So
you know, they call them woman beaters, but I never liked that term.
I never liked that term either.
But yeah. Kids say always button to the top.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. If I'm in a setting inside where I think that look works for me, I'll do that. It just depends. It just depends on the situation.
I got you, man. I got you. Listen, what you have planned for the weekend, for the rest of June? Are we coming up on Juneteenth?
Yes, sir.
On Monday. Also, I'm coming up on my 13th anniversary.
Wow.
It's been 13 years, man.
Wow, man. That's a blessing right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
You know, continue, you know, I love you, Kia. Continue to pray my strength in the Lord.
Hey, Arthur, it ain't no joke. Look, Arthur, I'm a year and a half in, and I know it ain't no joke. No joke. Right. So man, no, it's a blessing. I think about our folks that just celebrated their 41st
Yeah.
wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Man, so Daryl and Jackie, they on what, 18, 19 years?
19. They sitting on something like that.
Yeah, man. So no, that's a blessing, man. That's a real blessing.
Kid said, "Pray for me because Arthur never thinks he's wrong and doesn't need to apologize."
We just went over that in the show. See, Akia be hearing what she want to hear. Arthur explained this in this episode.
I told you it was trauma.
It's a trauma response. So, man,
Juneteenth on Monday is a holiday for me.
Yep.
Are you off as well?
Yes.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
This weekend, here out in Wichita, one of the awesome organizations, CORE, Community Operations Recovery Empowerment, is having a full week of Juneteenth festivities starting tomorrow, actually. So on Saturday, I'm going to be out there in my official capacity with work, tabling, getting resources out to the community that might need them about resources. So manning the table. So I'll be out there for Juneteenth on Saturday. Then on Sunday, they're actually having a gospel fest out it's called McAdams Park out here in Wichita. So I think I'm gonna go out there to that as well. So man, excited about the festivities that's coming up.
Oh, Corinthian, that's awesome, man. You do a lot for that community. Park City, Wichita, and what Andover. Y'all covering a lot of ground up there. Bel Air, Derby. Y'all covering a lot of ground up in Kansas. And I believe the White House, they just did something for Juneteenth. It was a big celebration. They invited a couple of artists and some advocates and things like that. So I'm happy that we have Juneteenth on the map. And if you don't know what Juneteenth is it's the Black people's 4th of July. It's our 4th of July, and because Abraham Lincoln, obviously freed the slaves after the end of the Civil War, and there were some slaves in Texas and some other parts of the South that had not heard that we are free. Mm-hmm. And they didn't get the word until Juneteenth, June 19th. So that's why we celebrate it. So it's monumental. So if you didn't know, if you were tuning in and you didn't know what Juneteenth was, or you were like, why is this a federal holiday? Or why are people getting so excited about this day? That's why, because we didn't get, our ancestors didn't get the word that they were free, and we're still picking cotton, still in the tobacco field, still doing free labor until they got the word that we were free. And I think it was a great Emancipation Day for us.
Yeah. So Arthur, piggybacking off that. Arthur, piggybacking off of that. So we had a chance to take a trip to Galveston, Texas. So that is the place where the Union Army marched to let those folks down there know that they were free 2 years later, right? So being in Galveston is right at the coast. So once you get to Galveston, when you look out at the beach, all you see is water because it ain't nothing else out there. It's the furthest place down there. So it was so cool to be down there, to have a monument down in that area in Galveston as well. But this is something I want to consider, right? So I'm gonna be thankful for the day off and that sort of thing, right? Now, what I take issue with, and we don't got to go in this in full depth tonight because we'll be here for another hour. Then.
Show nobody clicked on, so they ain't want that smoke, so you good.
Look, so this is what I'll say. We'll take the day off, but a holiday is a symbolic gesture it is symbolism, right? Slogans are symbolism. They nice. It's cool that everybody say it. Hashtag that's nice, but that doesn't have the impact that tangibles have. And what I mean by tangibles, resources, laws, policy. I'll take that before a Juneteenth celebration with some people singing at the White House. See, that right there is an event that's going to come and go. But a policy or tangibles or resources or money or reparation, that's something that's going to extend beyond that celebration. So I won't get too deep in that, but yeah, I'll land the plane there.
Glass in my mouth. You remember the Cosby episode? I think Claire got invited to talk on with the three men. They were on the show. They talking about politics and law, and she got invited to talk on that. It just reminded me. Great.
Hey, first of all, Cosby Show may be the best show. That might be the best show of all time for me.
It's the litmus test for family. Corinthian, I honestly, to this day, on Facebook, I am a follower of Cosby Show episodes. So I get the full episode and I watch it on Facebook, or I get maybe like a 12-minute clip of something, and I watch it religiously, and I can see so much in the Cosby Show in my family, how my boys operate and everything, how Rudy and Theo and Vanessa did. It's kind of amazing. I was like, they kind of like set that tone for what a family, and they talked about pretty much everything that could go on. Religion, politics, kids dropping out of school, kids getting married, eloping, kids, everything, step parents, everything. They covered such a wide array of things that it was a very, very good show. Whoever thought of the Cosby Show and Bill Cosby, and I'm not even gonna get on them because he's going through some things, but the mind was there for that show, and it is from generation to generation. You can pull something and dissect it, and you'll find yourself in it.
Groundbreaking, revolutionary, trailblazing. The content that they were covering, it's still to this day, it's an important conversation, right? And then A Different World. What it did, showing us the college setting, showing us it's cool to be smart. Like that was what was on TV in a cool way, right? And then Fresh Prince, and then something was so cool when you go back, a lot of those shows, Martin, Fresh Prince, like if you saw what their attire, what they were wearing, it was all intentional.
It's something. Yeah, it always had a message. They always promoted something Black, or they were gearing into college or anything. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Corinthian, we're almost done, but we talked about Juneteenth. It's not just a day, and we thank you for the day, but there has to be some tangible things that come of this. Whether it is resources, laws, like you said, reparations, like you said, and we're gonna have to have a whole show on that. But I'm gonna give you this tidbit because I know you chomping at the bit. The young lady from Starbucks getting awarded $26 million. See, I tried to.
Hey, Arthur, you know what?
I put a blood worm on it.
Don't bait me. Don't bait me. Don't tease me. Don't tease it out of me, man. Hey, Arthur, we'll have a whole show about that, man. Yeah, don't get me on that.
And I think that's actually going to be our next show. we need to talk about that. She was discriminated on at Starbucks, and I believe fired because she was white. I think that's how the headline read. And she was won her case and a settlement of 20, I think, to the tune of $26 million. And I just got to thinking, she got that 26 million because she was fired because she was white. And I'm thinking about all y'all about to make me preach, man. I'm not even gonna are you holding your mute?
Take your time. Take your time.
Seen you have your arms folded, rock.
Take your time. Take your time. Go ahead.
I have never seen you. Corinthian. Let's just set up. There can be it's so many takeaways from that alone, and so many things that we have to discuss. You know how they talk about it's a message in the song. It's really a message in that. It's a message to white folks. It's a message to Black folks. It's a message to history. It's a message to politics, law, the law. Is the message to is Lady Liberty, is justice really blind? It's so many things that we can take from just this case that I think that we really need to dissect on our next show. So I'm hoping that we can have a couple of folks on and that we can discuss and talk about it. Because I know you're ready to go.
Well, Arthur, you know what? In this role, I'm gonna take the posture of listening, here, because I have my thoughts on it, where I can go on. But I want you to consider this term. It starts with the P. Precedence. PREDECENT. Precedence. See, once that's set, that's like the standard, right? So what I want you to consider what precedent that is, that is setting by that award, that amount for what she is claiming. So if you did it for her, that means you have to do it for anyone that falls under that, right? That's what precedent is. That's how our legal system works, right?
Right.
So And then my only other thing I would say is I need to find out who her lawyer was. We need to get his information, his or her information.
I can tell you who it won't. It definitely wasn't Ben Crumb.
No, hey Arthur, don't get. Hey man, you tried to get me started up, man. It definitely won't. No, it wasn't
Ben Crumb.
It was not. No.
Hey guys, listen, we've been on for an hour and 17 minutes. If you just tuned in, we are kicking it with the Kellys co-hosts, Arthur and Corinthian, and we just some brothers from around the way just talking about life. We want y'all to experience life and that more abundantly. Hey, if you have topics, comments, anything that you would like us to talk about or share on our show, make sure you put that in the comment section. This is going live now, but if you want to rewatch this show on YouTube or our Facebook channel, you can do so. Also, it will be posted on our podcast. If you don't want to see our smiling faces, you can just listen to the smooth sounds of kicking it with the Kellys.
We will have a loop. We will have a loop intro for Arthur. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to some folks that were watching on my page. Thank you for tuning in. Man, I got a text message from Adrian Green.
Oh man!
Shout out to Adrian. We grew up with Adrian, Ward Lines. So shout out to Adrian. Miss Wilma, Coach Mason, the Banks, David from Roundaway, grew up with us, CJ, Brother Jose, my man Marche, Dana. Thank y'all for tuning in. The Whitlows tuned in. You know, folks that we've known for years, man. So thank y'all so much for checking us out and kicking it with us.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Listen, you know, we just gonna keep swinging, man. We're gonna keep swinging, and we pray that everyone has a wonderful night. Don't forget to tell him thank you. Somebody got to get a thank you. Because you ain't.
Somebody got to get a thank you. I like that.
Somebody better get a thank you. And why not thank the one that gave you breath and use of your limbs? And don't be afraid to accept, adapt, and adjust. And Corinthian, and don't be afraid to say, I need help. I'm sorry.
And I love you.
And I love you.
Love you, bro. Look, that's a great say. That's a great say.
It's still kind of hard, you know, because we gotta say it different.
We gotta say it different.
Hey, I love you, bro.
Yeah, I love you, bro. You say it a little different because you told him why. You know, we ain't grow up with all that kind of.
We didn't grow up with all that.
But see, Arthur, I'll land my plane here. See, it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to show it, right? So I feel like we were saying I love you by the things that we was doing, our actions, our parents' actions showed us that they loved us, right?
Yeah.
The correction they tried to give us showed us that they loved us. So, you know, sometimes what's understood don't need to be explained.
Yeah, yeah. And that statement, I can show you better than I can tell you, is true. I mean, it's true. We got one more comment here. Hey, and the I matters. The I does matter, man. I love you, man. I love you. Hey, I love you, Akia. I love you, honey. I'm coming to join you, honey.
Elizabeth,
I'm coming to join you. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Y'all make this enjoyable every day. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll see y'all next week. Same bat station, same bat channel. I think that's how I go. Hey, bro, keep swinging, man.
Keep swinging, bro.
Keep swinging. All right, y'all have a good one. Peace. You know, it's just some things you can't do no more, and some places you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
On Bourbon Street or not, but
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying.